sounded goofy. We took off yesterday because for some reason my power decided to go out, and so wasn't actually able to do everything that I wanted to, but everything will be rescheduled to next week, later this week. Such good things going on. So everything's awesome. Hi guys, so glad to have you. Welcome to the next episode. Tonight we're going to be focusing on holistic health and nourishing our bodies, taking care of ourselves, which is really important. I know that's something I have lacked for a while and something I'm really trying to do again. So this will, I feel like help me in so many ways personally, and I hope a lot of you as well. Hi guys, so happy to see you. So excited. This weather's crazy, so I don't know what to do. Just had to fix my hair again. Oh my gosh. Me too, Nat. Hey, girl. Me too. I feel like this is going to be really inspirational and wonderful. I know it is. All right, let's do this. Hi, McKenzie. So I'm going to invite you now so we can get started. Looks like she sent me one too. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Your earrings are super cute.
Oh, thanks.
You're
Teal's
welcome.
my favorite color, so. And I took it outside. It's like a beautiful day in Boise, so outside.
So cool. Yeah, it's like getting dark here, so I was like, I kind of stay in my, well, you can kind of tell the sun's going down, but that's crazy. Glad to see you. So I'm going to start out with a little intro. I'll introduce you and then give you an opportunity to add in anything that you think I forgot.
Okay.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Ellie. Welcome to the next episode of Chat E. If you've never chimed in for an episode before, Chat E is an opportunity for young entrepreneurs and professionals to just kind of share their stories, an opportunity to connect and just bring people together. My guest this evening is McKenzie Joyner, who is the blogger behind Sprouting Vitality, which focuses on cultivating, nourishing, and thriving, becoming the best version of yourself. McKenzie is a nutritionist, is also a coach, and just literally inspiring people in so many ways. I was going through your blog and you have so many different sections that just excite me, and I feel like are very much so streamlined together but beneficial for people in so many areas. So I'm really excited to learn from you and dive deeper into your journey.
Thank you so much. That was a nice introduction.
Oh, thank you. Is there anything at all that you think I missed? Or is there anything else you want to add to just kind of introduce yourself further?
Sure. I can chat a bit. I'm sure that you're going to ask me questions and we'll go over those things. But yeah, I kind of wear many hats in my business. I've just kind of incorporated things I was passionate about over the years. So a holistic nutritionist, I'm a private chef, recipe developer, a certified international life coach, and I teach yoga. So I just am super passionate about health and wellness, all focused on women. I do help men, but I just really am called to, I don't know, being a woman, I feel like I just relate with them, and there's just such a need for it. And so I just mainly coach women, and yeah, I love travel as well. So for me, I did culinary art school in Italy, and that was part of my growth and experience was travel. And so of course I want to share that because I just think that I don't know, I always think of the quote that travel is the one thing you spend money on that makes you richer. And I truly believe that. And so just sharing my travel along the way as well.
That is so cool. I had no idea. So the way that I was connected with you was through Katie Williams, the traveling spud. So did you guys meet abroad? Is that how you guys kind of connected, or you're from Boise, so you guys know each other from home?
So I moved to Boise 4 years ago, and then Katie moved back to Idaho 2 years ago. And we just met, I think, through social media, and then we met in person at an event, and then just became friends over the years.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I was like, what she had done, traveling by herself and doing all this stuff around the world was so cool. And I was like, do you have anyone else that's done something similar or has different areas of expertise that you thought would be cool for me to talk to? And you were one of the people she suggested. So very excited. So one other guest I've had, like when I initially started Chat E, this was like my third guest, also did something with holistic health. And that was honestly my first introduction to that. And I feel like a lot of people aren't really familiar, and I still am trying to kind of figure it out and understand. So can you kind of like dive in or like tell us a little bit more what holistic health means as like an overall term, or what that is?
Sure. So, growing up, I always thought I would be a dietitian, but when I was in college, I really didn't like how, and I still don't like how the FDA goes around nutrition and food and all the things. So, holistic nutrition was my approach that felt better for me. In so many ways, it's just like going back to what our ancestors ate, what our grandparents ate, less processed food, more like tuning into your intuition, and really like your body really knows when you have cravings and you break them down. Like for me, diving right in, right around like my menstrual cycle, I like always crave beets. Well, beets are like super blood builders. Like there's so much nutrients, iron in there that we're losing through our menstrual cycle, and that's why I crave them. So that's just like one example of how like our body really knows what it's missing and what it's needing. And so that's what holistic nutrition is. Like more of there's I personally feel there's always a space for like Western medicine, Eastern medicine, natural medicine. There's a space for all of it. But holistic is like just trying the natural approach first, like just eating real foods, less processed, things that your body actually identifies and can like break down and use the nutrients. So I could go on for this whole entire thing about holistic nutrition, but that's kind of just like a little tidbit of what it is.
So I think that that's really awesome that your body craves that. I would not say mine does ever. And then Cass just shared that she craves meat, like burgers and steaks, things like that. So, I mean, I feel like I crave chocolate, something that I shouldn't have, something that I'm like working my way out of craving as often. Like, of course it's fine to eat, but like not all the time. So, how do you like train your body to kind of like crave those things because you cut out things that aren't as good for you?
No, so for both those examples, so meat, she could be craving like needing more protein and more iron. So you're still getting iron with the meat. And then yours, actually, chocolate is not bad. I recommend going for more of like the dark chocolates, more cacao in it. But chocolate has magnesium in it, which our body needs to help with cramping, that helps with like our muscles. So really your body's telling you that as well. And it's just your opportunity to pick the highest nutrient dense food for that craving. Or it's really fun, like when you're craving something, look it up and see the nutrients in that food and what that helps with in your body. And it really will be like a light bulb moment of like, oh, that's why I'm craving that. Like that's why I want those things, is actually my body is needing those nutrients.
That's so interesting. I'm writing this down. Why am I craving this? I like could tell you right now, I've never thought through it like that in my life ever. That's never been a thing. So next time I am going through that, I will look into it. That's very interesting. So you have all kinds of like different aspects, like we just kind of started out with on your blog, and you said it's kind of been different things that you've incorporated over the years. So like where and how did you start?
So at an early age, I loved cooking. I've always been super intrigued by, I was an athlete, so I played soccer in college. I went on to play semi-pro and professionally just for a year. And so for me, I've always been super interested in what the food does to me and like my fuel and my energy, but also I just love food. And I think that part of me, like growing up, I moved a ton. My dad played baseball. And so we moved like every 4 years. And when I moved to California, I actually like had an eating disorder when I was there, just like super restrictive on the food. It's now termed as like orthorexia, where you're super like you have good food, you have bad food, you have off limit foods, and then you exercise a ton. It's pretty much like an athlete, but like to an extreme. And so for me, I just got this want to like really understand where that comes from and then help people not have the experience that I had, where you have such a negative relationship with food and your mindset, all of that. And then I absolutely loved, after college, I had a minor in nutrition and a major in health promotion and education. And then I decided to go to Italy for culinary school. And that just like opened my eyes to a different culture that they just have so much like love and culture around their food, and they take their time and they just like make the best things with the best ingredients. And so it just changed my outlook on it, and that's like how I cook now. So I really don't believe there's like good food, bad food. I think there's like better options, less processed. But like if you're craving something, I personally feel it's worse to like deny yourself that craving, because then you're just going to end up like eating the whole bag of chips or cookies or candy bars or whatever. It's just about like figuring out how you can have the highest like quality foods. And then also, as you give yourself, like, so many people are malnourished even though they're eating so much food, but it's processed food, not nutrient dense. And so you see a difference, like once you start fueling your body with the right things, you have less cravings for those more processed foods. And I think it's fun to like, here in Boise, we are like a mecca with like farms and vineyards and breweries and all this stuff. So it's super fun to like go out and meet the people at the farm, at the breweries, at the vineyards, and like really know the people behind your food. So I highly recommend that. I like wrote a huge blog post about eating seasonally, like supporting local, and like really having relationships with the people growing your food, harvesting your food. So yeah.
I feel like most people don't think about that. I saw that blog post, and I'm such a fan of like breweries and vineyards, and we have farms around here, but nothing's like super, super close to where I live. Like there's some, but I don't know if it's like where all coming from, at least not anyone that I know. But I don't really think that I've thought about connecting with them before. So that's a good outlook on it, to just like, reach out or go check it out to learn more.
Yeah.
And my body has definitely been one that's been craving some of those things that aren't good. So I'm really working to try and get myself out of that.
Well, just find like a healthier option, or just enjoy it. Enjoy it when you have the craving, and then eat healthy the rest of the time.
No, totally. Today's day one, trying again. We're starting over again. So, but we've done well today. So you come up with a lot of your own recipes, shared that you'd gone to culinary school in Italy, which is amazing. So what is most of the inspo behind your recipes? Because I've seen quite a few of them.
Yeah, so I think one inspiration is trying to recreate the foods that everyone loves, but make them healthier. And then also just, I love getting like CSA, do you know what the CSA, like the farm shares are? So once, like they just started in the spring. So a CSA is I always forget, cultural share of agriculture, something like that. But anyways, you get like a box of what is growing and being harvested at the farm, and they either deliver to you or you go and pick it up. It's kind of like the farmer's market. And so that's like super fun for me to get one of those from a local farm, and then just like think up different ways to use that, because a lot of people want to support the farm, but then they get this box and they're like, what do I do with this? And then it ends up going bad in their refrigerator. So I love doing that. And then during quarantine, I created and sold a Trader Joe's ebook, and it has like over 60 recipes of Trader Joe's products that they have. Like it's not seasonal, that they have all the time, and they're just like healthier recipes that you can make at Trader Joe's. I had a group of friends here, and they're like, oh, I have the quarantine 10 or the quarantine 15. Like, can you make something healthy so that I know what to get at Trader Joe's that's not going to contribute? And so it was just a fun way to make recipes that people can go and grab the ingredients and make.
I want one of those. That sounds super cool. I feel like Trader Joe's is also like one of a fan favorite around here for sure, but it's so much more affordable than a lot of the other grocery stores too.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a lot of fun options and just like new ideas all the time.
Totally, yeah. I mean, on TikTok too, people are always talking about their Trader Joe's hauls and like things that they're finding at the store, and it's always changing. I'd love to check that out. That sounds so cool. A question from below: what are your opinions on people who go on diets like vegetarianism or veganism?
I think that you have to find what works for you. I think that a lot of people are trying out like plant-based diets, just moving away from more processed like dairy and meat, just to see how their body feels. I do think that like a heavier plant-based diet is better for you, and then having like the small portion of whatever protein that you want to go with that. I just always recommend, I actually was a vegetarian for 2 years during college, and as like a student athlete, I found that I personally couldn't keep up with, like, I had 3 to 4 hours of like practice every day, and I just couldn't recover from it. I also now think that I wasn't like using the supplements, using all the things that you do need to do when you are a vegan, that you just can't get from just plants. So just work with someone if you are considering that, and making sure that you have the right like supplementation so that you don't become deficient.
That's good. Yeah, totally. I've tried it for like a month. While I did like I was like a pescatarian for like a month, and I was like, oh, this isn't working for me. But definitely cutting back and just eating like the leaner meats and like proteins, still ways to fit it in and everything.
Yeah.
So you shared that you travel and explore a lot. I know that even when we were planning a date for this, you said you were coming back from something this weekend. So, and I feel like I also have traveled an okay amount. I was living abroad in Spain for a while and was teaching English after I graduated college. So I've been to Italy too and experienced the food. So I seriously think that's so sick and so cool. How do you think that your travel experience and like you just getting to go to different places has kind of like helped to shape you and figure out what you wanted to do and bring back here? Because I feel like exploration of the world and the experience of new culture just like changes you. Like you kind of shared that before, it just kind of shapes you and helps you figure out what you want to do. And then you come back home and you're like, how can I make this a thing?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I've been able to travel so much over the years since college. I have a husband that actually is German, who's born and raised there. So we both have a love for it. So we do travel a ton. But I just think traveling is so important because you get introduced to like a new culture, a new cuisine. So you're trying a bunch of new stuff. You're going to take those things home and try to recreate them, or just remember them. Like a lot of my memories of travel are all surrounding food. And so that's like such a fun thing. But I just think like travel, there's like hardship, trying to like figure out a new language, trying to figure out where you are and like get from place to place. So I just think, like you said, it builds your character, it builds who you are. I have friends like all over the world that I've just met through traveling.
Amazing.
And they're just like experiences that you'll never forget. And so I highly recommend it. If you can go and travel, like make it work. If you have kids, like go and travel with them. It's gonna like shape them. But yeah, if you ever question, and there's so much, like I think last year so many people started to realize just how amazing like the United States is for traveling. So it's not like you have to save up and go abroad to like have an amazing experience. Like
Totally.
you could go like an hour away to a place that's in your state that you just never have seen, and that's gonna like change you too.
Oh, 100%. Yes. So I still haven't really gotten to go out west too much. I've been to San Diego, but I'm hoping to go at the end of the summer before school starts again. But yeah, there's so many cool things to travel to and explore just like that aren't that far, and it's not that expensive, especially right now, you guys. Seriously, do it. So have you done a lot of like abroad traveling or like in the country, or just both? You guys are just on the move all the time?
Both. So we have a puppy now, and so we're like we found a dog sitter, but we're doing more like around town travel. We do a lot of fly fishing and like river rafting, so we love to do that,
Cool.
mountain biking. But then yeah, we have a family home in Austria, so we try to go there.
That's awesome.
Then I did the El Camino with a girlfriend like 2 years ago, and we trekked the whole bottom half of Spain for 3 weeks. And so it's just
Yeah.
all over. Like find a girlfriend, find a friend that you can go and travel with, or significant other, and just like I don't know, there are like such amazing cheap flights sometimes that you can just like book and just go and figure it out. And yeah, it's really
Yeah. I really want to backpack in Canada. I've never been there. I'm hoping to go there sometime this year too. There's so many places that look stunning, and I just like it's like breathtaking. You don't even believe it's real.
Yeah. I have a lot in Canada as well that I want to do. So fingers crossed it'll open and we can
I know. Long list, but then we'll make it all happen. Yeah. One thing at a time. So on your page and on your blog, you talk about the mindful movement. I didn't know exactly what that was, and I'm assuming other people probably don't either. So do you want to kind of dive into that and share what that's about?
Yeah. So mindful movement, what I'm talking about is we are raised like in a society that, especially with women, that we're supposed to be like on the go all the time. We're supposed to be, if you work out, it has to be like half an hour, and it has to be cardio, it has to be hard, it has to be sweaty, like all the stuff. So
Right.
mindful movement is more about like checking in with yourself. And especially with women with our cycles, we actually have like a cycle going on all the time where you're not supposed to do like right around, let's start it. Okay, you have your period. You're really supposed to do like restorative yoga, walking, like nothing taxing, because it is pretty taxing on your body to like have your period and be like shedding everything and hormone shifting. So then after you go from there, you're then moving into a phase where you should do more like cardio. You're going to feel more outgoing and like get a ton done. And then as you move back towards your cycle, you'll start seeing, like, it's crazy when you start tracking it, that you will start wanting to be like, you're not as extroverted. You want to do more things at home. You kind of have a nesting, like
Right.
everything organized. And then that's like the time where you're doing more like strength workouts where you're building muscle, but you're not like doing hard cardio. So it's really fun to like really look into it. I'm going to write a blog post like about seed cycling, and then also about like your cycle and exercise. So
Yeah,
be
that's
on the
good.
lookout for that. But just mindful movement is like really checking in with yourself and not like pushing through, like knowing the difference when you are just like tired and you kind of don't want to do it, and when your body really is exhausted and is like, no, a, a restorative yoga class is like actually what I need today, not like a 5 mile run or a super
Right.
hard like cycle class. And so that's what mindful movement is like checking in with yourself and knowing what your body's really asking for, and like listening to it, trusting it, and knowing that like you'll have that hard workout another day.
Interesting. I feel like that's really hard for people. I mean,
Oh yeah.
just to try and like talk yourself out of that, especially when it's like, you know, usually on Tuesdays, this is what you do and something changes, because a lot of people, you know, they don't do well with the change and stuff, but that's really cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. I was reading through your blog and discovered what the sprouting, vitality, just like the different meanings for each of the word. And it seems like in so many different ways you're helping people. We'll go into your coaching next, but with that, with the mindful movement, with the nutritious meals, just like encouraging people to travel, so many different things. So the sprouting, the one that I liked was beginning to grow, and I think that's super sick and cool, just because it's a process, right? Like sprouting is like, you don't have to, like, nothing has to happen overnight. It's not all going to happen super fast. You're starting to make a change. You're starting to want a better lifestyle, which seems like everything you're helping women to do, which is so cool and amazing and important. But beginning to grow, sprouting, I thought that was really, really cool. And the vitality, to be strong and active and present in, especially if like when you're traveling, when you're outside, when you put your phone away, and just all these things. I feel like what you are like promoting and encouraging is very much so needed, but you're doing it in such a great way, and both of those words make it seem not forced.
Thanks.
So the title of your blog and just everything is very creative and clever, and I think it works perfectly for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Of course. So also you're a life coach, and I know that can kind of mean a bunch of different things. So do you want to kind of explain like what you offer and what that means for you?
Sure. So I am an internationally certified life coach with a organization, ICF. And so I have many, many hours of training and coaching people. I think that's super important. I think that's with anything that people look into, like a nutritionist, a life coach, a doctor. Like, look at the background of the person, like check their credentials, because there's so many people nowadays that, like, you can go and become a nutritionist with a 2-hour like certification, or a life coach could take one course and now they're a life coach. So just like be aware of and do your homework behind people. But life coaching for me, I just felt like, I feel like health is not just like what you put in your mouth. Like, it's not just about food. It's also like, you can't be healthy if you're eating all this healthy food, but your mindset is super negative. Or if you have a positive mindset and you're eating healthy food, but maybe like your body just doesn't feel good. So there's just like so many aspects of it. And I just continue to see, I had a life coach like when I first started my business, just helping with like limiting beliefs. And also like, I think women especially have a hard time like asking for their worth or like really believing in themselves that they can like go after the dreams that they've always had. And so that's what I work with women and help them like figure out what it is that they're like wanting in their life, why they're wanting it, and like we work as a team. So it's not just like coming to me and being like, what should I do? Write out a plan, like here's the steps. Like I am like by your side and we work together. Like there's a lot of reflective like questioning so that you can like hear back what you're saying. And a lot of times like during those conversations people have like the aha moment of like, oh my gosh, like I never knew that that's like what I was wanting, or I never knew that's what was like holding me back. And so it's like such an incredible experience. And I don't know, I just want people to like, I have it on my Instagram. Like I want to help people live their best life and like feel their best while living it. And that's like what I try to do.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely that is so tricky. I definitely struggle with that too. I'll be like doing so well and like making so many changes and just like thriving in so many areas, but I'm so hard on myself. And you are your own worst critic. So even just to like have someone to like who's in your circle who becomes your friend, but also doesn't know you and just like allows you that opportunity to like get to know you and like figures out what you want to like work you through it. The mentality is so much of it.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it's just important because we have our friends, we have our family that we can like bounce ideas off of, we can vent to, we can talk to about things that keep coming up. But there's such a difference with someone that like isn't that person, that you don't have to worry that they'll ever bring that up again, or that like you have to see them in person. So it just like puts such a different dynamic to be able to like talk to them about things that maybe you feel worried to talk to like your friends about, or your family for judgment, or for so it's just like such a special place.
Yeah, and so many people benefit from that. So many people. So I didn't get to read the whole thing. I'd seen someone else like post about this stuff too, and I was curious. I'm gonna ask you, what is dry brushing? Because I feel like for some reason I'm about to order a dry brush after we get off of this, because I saw someone else like posting a TikTok about it, and it's like for your skin or something, and I was like, I've never heard of this, and then I saw it on your blog too, and I was like, it must be a sign.
Yeah, so it's a Ayurvedic technique. So two things that I would highly recommend. Dry brushing is I have different options like on that blog post of finding quality brushes. You don't want plastic. You want like a wood handle and like not super hard bristle brush. I personally recommend, I love everything Primarily Pure. They're like an amazing company. They make a face one, they make a body one, and I have that like linked in my blog post. But it is a technique that you do before you shower, and it's just like invigorating your skin. It's getting rid of like dead skin. It's moving your lymph. So we have a lymphatic system, and like we have lymph nodes in our necks, under our armpits, and in our groin area. And so it's moving the fluid. It's like bringing it all. You make the movements up towards like your lymph nodes so that it can help drain it. And you'll be able to see like you'll do it, and all of a sudden, like if you do half your body, you can like see a difference. So I would highly recommend that. That's just like, I do it in the morning before showering, and it like wakes you up, and then you get in the shower and you're like showering it all off if you have dead skin or flaky skin. It helps like especially coming out of winter to like spring, summer, just making your like blood flow come to the surface. So I highly recommend that. That's like awesome. And then gua sha. If you haven't heard of gua sha, that's like another tool you use mostly on your face. And it's the same thing. You're moving like puffiness, inflammation. It's the lymph system again. Mm-hmm. So it's like a little tool that's like this big. I have a blog post on that as well. But you use it on your face, and you do half your face at once, and you're moving like slow strokes all the way over to here, which then drains down your neck into your lymph node. And it's wild. Like if you do half your face and you look in the mirror, like your eyes will be like brighter and bigger on one side, like you'll have less puffiness. So it's just like, and it's like a massage for your body. You can do it down like your neck in the morning. So if you ever like feel like your neck's kinked waking up, so
right,
gua sha.
How do you, I just tried to sound it out. How do you, I'm a teacher, I should know, but I got no idea.
Oh,
How do you
okay.
spell that?
GUA and then space SHA. Gua sha.
Okay, I spelled it right. I spelled it right.
Nice.
Well, okay. But I didn't put the space. So awesome. I'm gonna order both of those. I'll look at your blog post after this. If you were to describe yourself in 3 words, what would you use? You can also mix it with some words that you think other people would use, but more so focus on like words you would use for yourself.
Okay. Let me think.
This is a good one because it makes people think. That's why I always like to ask.
I would say driven, nurturing, and I don't know, I want to say curious. Like, I'm a lifelong learner. I always am like interested in, I read so many books. I'm always interested in like learning more about food, about nutrition, about life, everything. So I think like curious would be a word for me.
Good. And why would you, I think that's great. And why would you say driven and nurturing? I mean, I agree with you and I can get that sense, but just curious as to what you would say.
Driven, like both my parents are athletes. I think it's in me. I am always driven to like, I don't know, be my best self, be driven like with goals that I set. So that's just like, I don't know, I have that like drive in me to just like, I don't know, better myself. I think that goes with lifelong learning, just always adding more knowledge. And then nurture, I absolutely love like relationships. I always love to, I think that's why I'm a coach and a nutritionist and all these things. Like I want to nurture people. I want to help them feel better. I want them to like live an amazing life. Yeah, I'm a nurturer.
That's awesome. That's so good. That's, yeah. I mean, I agree with you with all of them 100%. If at any point I'm looking down, I feel like you probably figured this out by now, but it's just because I'm taking notes and writing stuff. Okay. So you also have a post about like-minded businesses and creating quality products to kind of like share about them, which I thought was really cool. So have you like connected with businesses, or that's more just you sharing products to kind of get the word out about them?
I do both. So I do like affiliate work with companies that I like personally have tried and I absolutely love. Totally. I feel that I always joke with my husband, like I don't love the word influencer because for me, I take it like super seriously to have people like reach out to me to want to learn from me. And like I would never recommend something that like I personally haven't tried. I personally haven't like looked at the company, what they are into, what they support, and then also like the ingredients that are in it. So I love finding, I think that it's like booming right now with women run and owned businesses. And it just like lights me up to see these women creating these amazing products, these businesses. There's a ton in Boise. It's like crazy here. And so I love sharing about them. Some things that I share, I might not work with that company. I might not be like an affiliate, but they are doing such incredible work that I want people to like know about them. Yeah. And I don't know, I have the mindset, like, I don't have a lack mindset. Like, I don't worry that me sharing about someone that might even do something similar to me is going to like take away from me. So I just like to share it. I like to get the word out and help people thrive as well.
Yeah. And your whole focus is like women supporting women and just being encouraging and all of that. And, you know, maybe eventually you'll work with some of these businesses too, but even if you don't, that's like a really powerful thing to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. So I feel like, you know, because it's not, and you've kind of established that throughout like speaking the whole time, but you're not doing what you do for you.
Yeah.
You know, like you know where you are at mentally and physically and all of that stuff, but you're doing it to help other people, which is amazing. So was this what you do full time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, good for you. That's awesome. So what are your goals for the future in regards to like growing and building, or, you know, do you have any other segments, things you have that you're working on that you want to share, if anything?
Yeah, I think just continuing to grow. I like moved to Boise 4 years ago, so I like started from scratch again with like clientele here. But I think with the like COVID and quarantine, I had everything in person, and now I'm like almost 100% online now. So just shifting and like pivoting my business to be more online. I think just growing it more, more blog posts. I'm going to be creating like more courses this year so that I can work with more people, and like creating courses that are like beginning and like beginner nutrition stuff, and then have like advanced so that people can like keep moving through it. I want to do more like yoga and mindset courses as well, so that I just think people get worried that you have to be like this amazing yoga person, and that's not what it's about, or that you have to like take a class to understand meditation, when it's just like, no, you just like get quiet with yourself and breathe. Like there's not much to it. So I think things like that. I also host like an annual postpartum summit. I was a doula at one time, so I like helped women like birth their babies, and I just can't do that with my full-time like business now. And so I one time a year host a Treasure Valley postpartum summit. Last year it was all virtual. It was super cool having people from all over the world, but just growing that and getting more awareness. I just think that it's a place that we need more education, more support, especially in our country. And so I'm super passionate about it.
Yeah, lots of good things going on in your world, McKenzie. That's great. And do you have any tips for other people wanting to just like, you know, work at having a better life, diving into some different areas of holistic health and just like mentality and just keeping themselves on the right track?
Yeah, I think that, sorry, we have like cottonseed puffs going around.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just recommend like start small, like make small goals for especially like nutrition. I think that so many people are just like, one day they're like, okay, I'm going like cold turkey on all the things, and it just doesn't work like that. It's just too many things all at once. So like each week just implement like one thing. Okay, this week I'm gonna drink this much water every day, and like get through that. The next week it's like, okay, I'm gonna cut out this and add greens every day. And so just like start small and like start stacking them. I think it's called like something stacking. I don't know, blanking on that. But just like starting small and like patting yourself on the back when you get through a day, like great job, that, and really like identify what you are working on. And I think like I have a blog post about creating magical mornings. Like mornings are incredible time to like set yourself up for the day. So starting to have a routine that makes you feel your best. So that could be like waking up 20 minutes early so that you can like drink your water and maybe do like a 5-minute meditation and journal, or wake up and just journal in your bed, because I like truly believe in the power of journaling, and I think a lot of things come out when you journal. So making time for that, and
yeah,
that's about it.
Those are big ones. There's a lot of your blog posts that I'm gonna have to go back and read too, because that's something for me. Like mornings are hard for me, just like waking up. But that's another thing, working on like getting into the right habits, going to sleep and early enough. So many different things, but there's a lot of things that do it.
Yeah, and if you try dry brushing and gua sha, let me know.
I'm gonna go order one after this because I feel like that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Well, if you all want to check out Sprouting Vitality, reach out to McKenzie and just hear more about her journey and story and all the services she provides. Where are people able to find you? Her chat will be posted on my IGTV. I can also send it to you, and then it'll also be posted on my YouTube channel at Elko Community Building on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Sprouting Vitality. I have my website, sproutingvitality.com. I'm on Pinterest, Sprouting Vitality. So, yeah.
Well, I will tag everything below. It has been such a pleasure. I feel like I have a couple questions for you that I'm going to ask and send you after this. But thank you so much for everything. You're wonderful. Keep up all of the amazing work. And I can't wait to continue to watch your journey and see how you grow.
Thanks so much.
Of course, you're welcome. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.